Welcome back. According to a recent Gallup survey, just 4% of Americans say it's morally acceptable for married people to have affairs, which sounds like a no-brainer until you hear that any number of other surveys find that roughly half of adults admit they've cheated. That's why lots of people hire private detectives when they get suspicious about what their mates are up to. But when you see this next story, you may wonder whether one private eye goes a little too far. Deborah Fayrick has tonight's eye-opener.
Look at the happy couples, holding hands, kissing, so happy, and so busted. Sandra Hope tails happy couples for a living. She's a private eye, a sex spy, hired to catch cheating husbands and boyfriends.
The women who come to you, what is it that they want?
They want to know the truth.
Lawyers, stockbrokers, athletes. She's caught all types having too much fun with women who are not their wives or girlfriends.
How many times have you found there was no cheating going on?
Never. And it's only because the people who come to me already have suspicion, already have signs.
Sandra Hope got into the spying business 12 years ago after her second marriage ended in divorce. Her company is called Mate Check, and her arsenal of gadgets includes tracking devices that look like cell phones.
So they won't suspect that this is actually a tracking device?
Exactly. It's a phone. Who knows whose phone it is, but it's a phone.
Okay. Video cameras and binoculars that snap photos.
I just hold them up. I do a lot of, athletes, so I can go to baseball games and basketball games and just be an average Joe.
But her best weapon by far, herself. She often goes undercover as a decoy, wiring herself with a tiny camera, changing her appearance.
Men aren't really looking at me going, is that a wig? That's not what's on their mind.
Hope spends a lot of time with her female clients, getting to know her target's likes and dislikes, so she can become the perfect date.
And I'm off.
She travels to cheating hotspots during so-called business trips. I met her at an outdoor restaurant in Scottsdale, Arizona, where she often invites suspected cheaters.
And he has no idea that you've been set up to this?
Absolutely not, as he wouldn't be here.
Some men slip off their wedding rings. Others admit they're married, but ready and willing. We spoke to the National Council of Investigation and Security Services. Their spokesman calls the decoy tactics unethical and says they amount to entrapment.
I would just be talking as we are talking in this tone of voice, just like this. There wouldn't be any closer, wouldn't be any touching, and wouldn't be any sex or come on or anything like that whatsoever.
Hope has applied for actual jobs and been hired as a bartender, secretary, and financial aide, just to keep tabs on a suspected cheater. One of her clients was Carlina Delgado, who says when it came to one boyfriend, all the signs were there.
He wouldn't come home at night. He wouldn't call me back. I just had gut feelings that something was going on.
For a while, the boyfriend convinced her it was all in her mind. But eventually, she hired Hope to find out whether he was lying.
Even though I went behind his back and did it, I felt that it was right to find out the truth.
The truth, it turns out, she was right.
I didn't want to just make it seem like it was my fault, because then it was like I was going crazy. I wanted to prove.
Why is it important for them to have both video and pictures?
A lot of my clients like to take pictures and just throw the pictures at them, send them to their friends on email.
Delgado broke up with the boyfriend, changed her phone number, and moved. As for Sandra Hope, she loves what she does and hasn't soured on finding a guy of her own. The one thing she has learned about relationships?
It's very hard to cheat. That's why they get sloppy, and that's why they get caught. And signs start popping up because, it's hard. It's very hard.
The funny thing is, even with all that cheating, the majority of her clients, thousands by her account, ultimately choose to stay together and work things out, for better or worse. Deborah Fayrick, CNN, Scottsdale, Arizona.
All right, I got some really amazing pictures to show.
Chicago.
At large in New York, I'm Geraldo Rivera. And seldom has the phrase "no greater love than that of a..."
She calls herself the Love Detective, and she's making a living snooping on cheaters. But is it exposing the truth or entrapment? Mate Check is next. Thank you. Spying on cheating lovers is nothing new, but a twice-divorced Arizona mom has gotten into the game long dominated by male private eyes, exposing salacious tales of sex and lies with videotape. Arthel Neville reports.
I don't get anything that I know is going to be volatile or a criminal situation. I try to help people.
In the last 12 years, she has spied on, taped, followed, and even posed as a decoy to try to trap hundreds of suspected cheating spouses.
And he was busted.
She has enlisted the latest in advanced technology, state-of-the-art gadgets, high-powered weapons, and good old-fashioned legwork, all to catch her man. Or woman. Meet Sandra Hope, president and founder of Mate Check Private Investigations, or as she likes to be called, the Love Detective.
So you feel good about what you do?
I feel good. You know, if you would hear my clients when they call me and they're devastated and they're crying, the sex has stopped, the caring stopped, the love stopped, they see jewelry on their credit card statements that they've never received.
And that's when the Love Detective steps in. Suspicious wives and girlfriends hire Sandra to be their undercover sex spy, paying big bucks to have her dress up and try to tempt their men into cheating. She says it's one of the most popular services she offers.
I wire myself video and audio. I ask about hair. They say, you know, he likes this kind of lipstick. He likes a lot of makeup, not makeup. And then especially what they like to eat and their activities, because men really like that. They really like that.
A girl who likes to do what they like.
Love it.
Sandra kick-started her business back in 1994 after she caught her own husband cheating. She says she turned her pain into something positive.
You said you do this to help people out.
Right.
What do you say to folks who say this is simply entrapment?
You know, I'm not entrapping anybody or any decoy. They have a choice. In life, everybody has choices.
This woman, who we'll call Tiffany, is 24 years old. Last year, she asked Sandra to keep an eye on her fiancé while she was busy planning their wedding.
He was coming home late. He was acting kind of strange towards me.
How close were you to the wedding date?
I was about 3 months away. It's crazy when you think about it.
How long did Sandy spy on your fiancé?
About a week. It didn't take long.
Sandy found out Tiffany's intended groom was leading a double life, complete with another fiancé. She immediately called it quits.
How much money did you spend?
About $850. It was the best. $850 saved me a heck of a lot of money on a wedding.
But according to Sandra, Tiffany's case is unusual. It's been her experience that most cheaters are taken back by their scorned mates.
Are most of your clients women?
No. I've equal about 50-50. 50 men, 50% women.
And men, she says, surprisingly enough, are usually the ones who want to keep the relationships together.
Men usually don't want to go out and find another relationship like women. They just wanted the sex part. So they'll go out and get the sex part and wants to come home and have their customary of living lifestyle.
Sandra says, sadly, business is booming. And while her heart goes out to the families in her cases, she has little mercy for those cheaters who come into her sites.
It's up to them to be faithful if they want to be faithful. And if they don't want to be faithful, then that's okay too. But it just gives a chance for their fiance or wife to move on.
So, Ms. Neville, do you feel mercy for those who cheat and get videotaped?
Absolutely not. Cheaters should be caught.
So what goes around comes around, and you think they get what they deserve?
I do so.
And what about men staying with the woman despite the fact that she's cheating on them?
You know, you men are interesting creatures, Geraldo. Very complex. Much more than women, I think. We can't always figure you guys out.
Well, that's a topic for a whole of the documentary. Thanks, Arthel.
I think we should spend a half hour on that, the two of us.
At least, wow. Stand by, everybody. Back in the flesh with Blaine and Evil.
Mikey, thanks. It's a relationship quandary for the ages. What to do about your sneaking suspicion that your mate is sneaking around? Well, in this month's issue of Marie Claire magazine,